Hey, fifth grade. We're going to keep going with your op art today on your async lesson. So you're at home, I'm at my home. It's not even the same day of week when you're watching this, when I'm recording it. It's okay. We're going to pretend like we're here live together. What I want you to do is work on your async or your op art design asynchronously during your normal art time. So after this video is done, 25 minutes of work working on this project. I want you to show it to me next week so that you can say, hey, look what I did and look what I accomplished on that week when I didn't see you, Mr. Bremer, and go ahead and work further on it. If you were not with me last week live, you might be a little bit behind and you might be like, ooh, not quite sure what we're going to do. So I'm going to review kind of what's going on, how to do it, and what you need to do. Okay, so if you're a little confused, you need a reminder, keep watching the video. If you know exactly what you're doing, you can kind of skip forward through the video just to double check. But you probably just need some time to kind of work on coloring this assignment in. This assignment typically takes some people about 2 or 3 art classes to finish coloring in. It's a lot to color, especially if you drew your lines really close together. There's a lot of coloring to do and some precision there. But I also know that some kids like worked forward on this. Like I got an email from a student who already had it done. Okay, so if you get done early, maybe look up and explore some other op art designs that you could do. Otherwise, just work on this today and let's see what you have next week. Okay, so let's take a look at my drawing and I'll talk through exactly what you should be doing. Okay, so what you need to do is make sure that your entire drawing is done. Okay, so reminder on the drawing, we did these straight lines that filled our paper, and then we did hills that went outward and valleys that went inward. Okay, and we did that around the entire design. So that's what everybody should have done immediately. Okay, so if you don't have that done, certainly get the drawing part of it done. And the other thing we talked about is the idea of value, the lightness or darkness of color. So the way we're predominantly going to be using value is through shading, okay? And pressing harder to get darker values. So you can see that because it's a little darker on the edges, it kind of creates the look that these things are a little more three-dimensional, okay? And they look a little bit more like they have form to them, okay? So how would I do that? So just reviewing, so you're going to need 4 colors, okay? 2 pairs of 2 colors, okay? So I have this purple and maroon, and then I have this light blue and light green here. Okay, so those are my 2 pairs of colors, okay? We'll go ahead and work on the blue and the green, just to remind you how this is done. So my blues connect to my purple, so this is a blue shape right here. I'm going to just kind of, as I'm talking, sharpen up this pencil real quick. Just realized it's pretty dull. All right, so like what I like to do is start really light. Notice when I shade, I typically hold my pencil a little further back. It allows me to give it a little bit of a lighter touch. I'm going to go real light in the middle, real light in the middle. Now I can also come back and do a little bit of an eraser. That's what I did here. I took my eraser and put in that white highlight there. Kind of makes it look like it's a little bit metallic and reflective when I do that. And I think that works pretty well. So let's do this. Like so. Okay, and then to shade it and add value, I'm just going to go back into the areas that need to be darker. And just going over again and again, it builds up that value. Now, what you want to do on the edges of this is go really dark. So really push hard so you get a nice, bold, darker value, okay? However, look at this. Now I've got this sort of line right here. So I need to kind of fade and transition this inward. So that's the challenge of this assignment, is to have that sort of smooth shading transition. And it just takes practice to get better at this. So if you feel like, gosh, this does not look that great yet, that's okay. I just want you to practice. What you want is like 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 total different values is what you're shooting for. Really light, medium, medium dark, dark. Now with my faded transition here, I probably have more about like 8 to 10 values. But again, I have a little more practice than you guys do. I've been doing this for quite some time. So that's how you're going to do that. Let's go on to the green just to see what the green looks like. Same thing, start super lightly. You can notice that Mr. Farmer holds his pencil funny. Since I was your age, I know you're supposed to hold your pencil like this. For whatever reason, more comfortable for me to hold it like this. I'm gonna go real dark here and then smooth that transition like so. Okay, and then you'll just keep doing this through the whole thing, all right? Now, one part that gets a little tricky is when you get to the edges here, okay? So you might think, well, since this is the edge, this is where it's supposed to be dark. That's not necessarily true, okay? Because if you think about it, so look how it's not dark right here. Why not? Well, think about this. The design actually kind of goes off into space here. So we don't see this part of the triangle. I can't even do this. Like, so imagine this is like that, and then this should look like this, right? So this is what this triangle would actually look like if we could continue to see it going out into space. So the dark areas should be on the edges, right? So this area is still in that light area. So just because you're the edge of the paper, don't necessarily shade it dark. So I'm going to kind of, this will be sort of that medium dark for the violet there, and then pretty light right here for the rest of the violet, because this is the center of the triangle. So that's going to be that lighter area for this violet. And I'm not going to shade dark just because I'm near the edges. I need to shade in whatever way, whatever chunk of the triangle or pie piece this is. So there's a little bit of shade as it gets towards the edge, but because that's where it would be on the larger piece of the triangle. Okay, so that's what I want you to work on throughout your asynchronous time. And you should be about halfway to 3/4 of the way finished when you bring this to class on next week, okay? So be prepared to show me your work next week, and I will see you then in class live. Have a great rest of your week. Peace out.